My little sister always wanted to be me. So she took my fiancé. For more generated or real-life stories from Reddit, please like, share and subscribe. Me, Clara, 30F, grew up in the same house as my younger sister Lucy, 29F, not her real name, but it felt like we were raised on different planets. From the moment she could speak, Lucy was noticed. She had that magnetic, golden child energy. Blonde curls, dimples, the kind of girl strangers call a little heartbreaker at age 5. I was the opposite, quiet, dark-haired, book-obsessed. The kind of kid teachers loved but everyone else overlooked. I didn't resent her for it. Not back then. When we were young, we were close in the way only sisters can be, sharing a bed when it stormed, whispering secrets, swearing we'd always protect each other. But something shifted in high school. Lucy began needing more. More attention. More praise. More eyes on her. And when she didn't get them, especially from boys, she turned sharp. The first real crack came when I started dating someone she liked. A boy from my grade named Nathan. He was sweet, artistic, and quiet like me. I had no idea Lucy had a crush on him, she'd never even talked to him. But when we started dating, she started icing me out. Rolling her eyes, muttering of course when I spoke, calling me fake deep in front of our parents. Once, she told me he only liked me because I was easy to control. It escalated until, one day, a rumor started spreading around school that I had cheated on Nathan with a teacher. It was a lie, obviously. But somehow, everyone seemed to believe it. Nathan dumped me. I cried for days. Lucy cried too when people comforted her in the hallway. I'm just so embarrassed for my sister, she said. That rumor came from her. I found out a year later. But I didn't confront her. Not then. I left for college early, got a scholarship out of state, and cut contact. For nearly a decade, we only spoke through our mother. Until I met Adam, 32M, not her real name. He was everything I had once believed love should be. Thoughtful. Brilliant. A little awkward, but quietly confident. We met at a conference, dated for 3 years, and last fall, he proposed. It wasn't a flashy moment. No fireworks or grand gestures. Just him, shaking slightly, in our kitchen at midnight, asking me if I wanted to be his home. I said yes through tears. It was the happiest I had ever been. And I made a mistake, I invited Lucy to the engagement party. She'd changed, my mom said. She's calmer now. She's grown. And for a little while, it seemed true. She wore a tasteful dress, brought a gift, toasted to our happiness. She even cried when I hugged her. I'm really happy for you, she whispered in my ear. That was 6 months ago. 4 weeks ago, Adam broke off the engagement. No real explanation. He said he was confused and needed to work on himself. That he felt guilty all the time and didn't know why. I knew why. 2 days ago, I found his old tablet while packing boxes. I wasn't snooping, I was going to reset it. But it was still logged into his messages. There were texts. From Lucy. They started around the time of the engagement party. At first, harmless. Then flirty. Then late night. Then photos. Then, I wish things were different. I think about you all the time. He wrote back, I don't know what this means. I'm sorry. I can't stop thinking about you either. That was 3 months ago. He moved out last week. She moved into a condo downtown 2 days later. I asked our mom if she'd heard from Lucy lately. Oh, she's doing great, she said. She just started seeing someone. His name's Adam, I think. I laughed. I actually laughed. I haven't replied to either of them. I don't think I will. But I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm stuck between rage and this hollow ache in my chest I don't have words for. So here I am, telling strangers what I can't say out loud. I don't want advice. I don't want pity. I just needed to put it somewhere. Because if I keep it inside much longer, I think I'll explode. That's all. Clara. Update 1. Hey again. Honestly, I didn't think my first post would get much attention. I just needed to get it out somewhere that didn't echo back my mother's voice or end with maybe she didn't mean to. But reading all your responses made me feel like I wasn't crazy. So, thank you. I'm not here to update with some master plan or revenge fantasy. Not yet, anyway. This isn't a movie. This is about what happened in the days after I found out. When everything inside me cracked open. The first night after reading those texts, I didn't cry. I lay in bed for hours staring at the ceiling, trying to make my hands stop shaking. There's a strange sort of stillness in betrayal, like your body goes numb so your mind can do the screaming. The next morning, I packed up the wedding dress. It wasn't dramatic. No wine stains or scissors. I just folded it carefully into the garment bag and zipped it up like sealing away a dead thing. Then I turned off my phone. I didn't want to hear Adam's voice. I didn't want to hear his version of what happened. I didn't want the coward's apology or worse that tone of exhausted guilt, as if I'd made this hard for him. And Lucy? She didn't even try to reach out. That somehow hurt more. People say grief feels like drowning, but this wasn't water. It was quicksand. The more I thought, the deeper I sank. How long had she wanted what I had? Since we were kids? Since Nathan? Since the moment I got something that wasn't hers? How many of my wins had she seen as theft? I started remembering things. Her copying the way I dressed in college. Her making fun of my poetry and then posting deep quotes online. Once, years ago, she told a friend I was the version of her that parents liked when they're tired. At the time, I laughed it off. Now it plays on loop. My parents still don't know. I couldn't bear to tell them. It's not that they wouldn't believe me, it's that they would, and they'd still say something like, "It's complicated," or "She didn't mean for it to happen this way." Because Lucy cries prettier than I do. Because Lucy always needed more. So I went away for a while. A friend let me stay in her cabin upstate. No reception. No noise. Just pine trees, old floorboards, and my own heartbeat. I didn't bring much: some books, a camera, a journal. I sat in silence for 4 days before I opened the notebook. The first words I wrote were, "I'm not broken. I've been stolen from." I think that sentence saved me. People keep asking what I'm going to do. Am I going to confront them? Expose them? Burn it all down? I don't know yet. Right now, I'm learning how to sit in the quiet without needing to fill it with someone else's version of who I am. I've lived so long being compared to Lucy that I forgot what it feels like to speak without echo. But this is the first time in my life I feel like I'm the one watching. And she has no idea I can see everything. No more explanations. No more being the bigger person. That version of me is zipped up with the dress. And if I do something, I won't announce it. I'll simply do it. Clara. Update 2. Back again. I wasn't planning to post. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I didn't think it was worth saying. I thought maybe what I did wasn't enough. That it wouldn't change anything. But I realize now, this was never about changing them. This is about reclaiming me. It started with an email. A polite one. Subject line, cancellation of venue booking Clara and Adam. I didn't want to look at that email for weeks. The venue coordinator had been so sweet, and I'd been excited, really excited about getting married there. But once the dust settled, I knew I needed to handle it. So I emailed. I explained the engagement was called off. I thanked them for their time. I expected a cold reply, maybe a refund breakdown. What I got instead was, "Hi Clara. We're so sorry to hear that. We actually received a hold request last week from a Lucy Carter for the same weekend. We assumed it was a relative and didn't want to double book without checking in. Should we proceed with releasing the date?" I reread it 4 times. Lucy had tried to book my wedding venue. Same date. No shame. I didn't respond. I didn't scream or call or punch a wall. I just forwarded the email to her. No message. No subject line. Just the cold echo of her own pettiness staring back. She didn't reply. Of course not. But an hour later, the venue confirmed that the new request had been withdrawn. Next, I went into our childhood photo archive. My mom has always been the obsessive memory keeper, boxes upon boxes of old photos, DVDs, scrapbooks. Lucy was always in the middle of everything. I was always slightly to the side. Still, there were some things in there she probably forgot existed. Like the Christmas card from 2004 where Lucy had a tantrum because I wore the red dress she wanted. Or the birthday video where she deliberately accidentally blew out my candles. Or the home video of her telling me she'd just copy everything I did until I stopped being annoying. They're not damning on their own. But together? It's a mosaic of who she's always been. I didn't post them publicly. I didn't threaten her. I just uploaded a small, curated selection to a shared Google Drive folder. And sent her the link. No message. She viewed it within 2 minutes. The folder name? For the maid of honor speech. 2 nights ago, she called me. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, her voice fake calm, like she was trying not to sound guilty. "Hey. I just saw the stuff you sent. I know things are complicated right now, but I hope we can talk soon. There's a lot going on, and I don't think you know everything that happened. Maybe we both made mistakes. Call me when you can." I saved it. Didn't respond. I don't need her side of the story anymore. I know her story. I've been cast in it for 30 years. I'm done playing the extra. Yesterday, I walked past the mirror and didn't hate what I saw. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't glowing. But I looked, still. Present. It hit me how long it's been since I felt like a full person. Not the version of me Lucy could mock or mimic. Not someone holding space for other people's egos. Just me. And it felt good. I'm not finished. I don't think she understands that yet. But she will. Clara. Final update. This will be my last post. I wasn't going to write again, but it doesn't feel right to leave the ending unwritten. Not after all this. And because, as of last week, I finally feel like I can breathe again. If you haven't read the earlier parts, here's the shortest version I can give. My younger sister, Lucy, 29F, fake name, sabotaged my relationship in high school out of jealousy. Years later, she did it again, only this time, she seduced and stole my fiancé, Adam, 32M, fake name, just months before our wedding. She smiled at my engagement party. She tried to book my wedding venue. She never even said sorry. And for the first time in my life, I didn't collapse. I didn't forgive. I watched. And I planned. Let me tell you what kind of person Lucy really is. She's the kind of person who doesn't just need to win, she needs everyone to see her win. She documents everything. Every new dress. Every fake deep quote. Every brunch, yoga class, and self-growth moment. Her Instagram is a cathedral of performance. But behind that glittery curtain? It's just rot. So I used her spotlight against her. Here's how it happened. A few years ago, I worked freelance for a boutique event planner in the city. High-end socialites, charity galas, that sort of thing. Through that, I got to know a woman named Veronica, PR specialist, branding genius, and an absolute bloodhound when it comes to public image. We weren't close friends, but we respected each other. She knew my writing. I knew her strategy work. So when I told her vaguely that I had a story, a real one, about a social media figure faking empowerment while privately destroying lives, she was interested. I didn't name names. Not at first. But I showed her pieces. Text screenshots, scrubbed of identifiers. Timeline inconsistencies. Social media posts that contradicted private behavior. Emotional manipulation masked as healing language. A classic narcissist using the aesthetics of self-love to get away with cruelty. Veronica saw a case study. Something her firm could use in talks, seminars. She asked if I'd be okay if she compiled it all anonymously. I agreed. I knew exactly what I was doing. A month later, Lucy was invited to speak on a panel about women supporting women in the digital age. She posted about it non-stop. The biggest moment of my career. Still can't believe I get to sit beside women who inspire me. Proof that you can turn pain into purpose. I watched it all unfold. And so did Veronica. She was there. Not as a speaker, but as a sponsor. And 10 minutes before the panel started, her team distributed packets to the attendees. Inside the packet? A sample case study. An anonymized report titled The Hidden Language of Manipulative Empowerment. Examples of contradiction between public persona and private damage. A list of red flags in digital influencers, uses sisterhood language while competing for male attention, frames betrayal as growth, gaslights victims into silence. Some of her influencer friends put the pieces together and figured it out that anonymous person was Lucy in the report, and the rumors started afterwards. She read it minutes before speaking on a panel called Women Supporting Women. By the time she took the mic, the betrayal was practically humming through the room. Whispers. Glances. The silence of an audience that already knew too much. Afterward, she tried to do damage control. Claimed someone was obsessed with her. Claimed she was being targeted for her growth. But the brand deal she'd been courting dropped her. The podcast that invited her ghosted her. 3 influencers she used to tag in everything unfollowed her in one day. She still doesn't know I was behind it. But it wasn't enough. Because Lucy doesn't care about losing strangers. She only cares about losing control. And control, for her, always meant family. So I took that too. My mother's 60th birthday was last weekend. She wanted a garden party, wine, music, old family friends, nothing too big. My dad asked if I'd help put together a video montage. Childhood photos. Sweet moments. I said yes. And I made 2 versions. Version 1 was what everyone expected. Polaroids from our beach trip. Lucy and me on Halloween. Mom laughing at the stove. Version 2 looked the same until halfway through. Scene, Lucy, age 17, telling me I always ruin everything. Scene, Lucy, age 22, making fun of a story I published and calling it emotional garbage. Scene, Lucy, age 29, sending Adam a photo with the caption, "I bet Clara wouldn't do this for you." Followed by screenshots. Blurred for privacy, but visible enough. Dates. Messages. Her voice memo saying, I always knew he'd choose me if he saw me first. I inserted a black screen with 5 white words. This is who she is. Then, a cut to my original wedding invite with her name under maid of honor. Fade to black. I waited until the garden lights dimmed. Until the wine flowed. Until people gathered around the projector screen. And then I played version 2. The silence afterward was brutal. My aunt dropped her wine glass. My dad turned to look at Lucy like he was seeing a stranger. My mom said nothing. Just pressed her napkin to her lips and walked inside. Lucy? She didn't move. She didn't cry. She stared at me with this mix of rage and fear because for the first time in her life, the truth wasn't hiding. And she couldn't control the room. A friend of hers stood up and left without a word. Adam tried to follow her, but Lucy grabbed his wrist. He shook her off. I saw him mouth something that looked a lot like what the fuck. He left a few minutes later. Alone. I didn't stay long. I hugged my dad. I kissed my mom on the cheek. She wouldn't look at me but she didn't stop me, either. I walked out before the tears started. That night, Lucy texted me. You're disgusting. You ruined everything. You're sick. I replied once. No, Lucy. I just stopped protecting you. So where are we now? She's lost most of her friends. Her social media is private. She posted a story yesterday about cleansing her energy and starting a new chapter. Still performing. Still spinning. But no one's clapping anymore. Adam? Gone. From what I hear, he moved back to Chicago. My mom asked if I wanted to talk to him. I told her I'd rather set my phone on fire. My parents? Things are strange. Quieter. Tense. They finally know what I've known since I was 14. Lucy isn't the sun. She's a black hole. She only shines by pulling light out of everyone around her. And me? I'm done narrating her story. I don't forgive her. I don't need to. I took everything she cared about: admiration, applause, image, illusion, and I ripped it away without raising my voice. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten. I revealed. And now she's just exposed. Transparent. Small. Finally. And I'm free. Clara.